Hey, fellow Toastmasters, how are you? Ian Humphrey here with another Toastmaster-related video. Hoping to keep this short. Today I want to talk about getting the most out of your Toastmasters investment. Because that's what it is. You're investing in your own public speaking skill. When I first joined Toastmasters, again in 2009, I got my manual, I received them, and I went through and I read all of my objectives for my icebreaker. Then I skipped ahead like many people probably do, and I looked at some of the other speeches that I would have to give, or some of the other objectives. And I quickly saw that after a certain speech, I would be asked to not use any notes. So before I gave my icebreaker, I made the commitment to write my speech and attempt to deliver it without any notes. Again, my children, if they were in this video, they'd say, my dad is cheap. Cheap has nothing to do with it. I like to get or receive a return on my investment. So I wanted to expedite my learning curve. So I gave my icebreaker without any notes. Okay? Here's another thing. I have in my hand here, because I'm preparing for a presentation that I'll be giving in Florida. So I went back through some of my old Toastmaster speeches, and I have those here in my hand. Now these are just from my first 10 speeches, the Competent Communicators Manual. And what I have here is in each envelope, I have on the outside, I have the title of the speech, I have the date that I gave that speech, and I have the number, I have the speech numbered on the outside as well. On the inside, I have a ribbon if I won anything, and I also have all of the evaluations that were written for me. So I'll just real quick give you some of the speech titles. This is always fun going back and reading these. Hey you, get off my mountain. I believe the children are our future. I will survive. This is my icebreaker. That was the title of my icebreaker. I will survive. Pecans, walnuts, and peanuts. Just a few here. It's a great day to be alive. Those are just a few of the titles. But here's my point. After I gave my icebreaker, I received some feedback. I brought that home, I placed it in an envelope, and I wrote it down. When I got to speech 5, I gave that speech, I collected all of my evaluations, I put them in an envelope, wrote the title on the outside and the date that I gave it. When I got to speech 6, I repeated the ritual that I had repeated before giving each of my Toastmaster speeches. And here's what I did. I opened up the envelope from the previous speech and I pulled out the evaluations. I read those evaluations. And any of those that I felt I really wanted to work on, I implemented those suggestions into that next speech. I'm going to say that again. If I were on speech 6, I would go through all of the previous speeches and I would read the evaluations, all of them. And if I felt they were useful, I would add them to my next presentation. That will help you become a better speaker in a shorter amount of time. So that's all I have for today. I'm trying to keep it short and sweet. We'll wrap it up. Save all of your evaluations. Place them in their own individual envelope. Write the title of the speech on the outside, the date that you gave it. And before you give your next speech, revisit those previous evaluations and see how you can apply them to your next speech. Again, I'm Ian Humphrey, reminding you that it's not about the knockdown, it's all about the get up. We'll see you next time.